Hi, thank you for stopping by on my little channel, which I'm trying to reactivating again. So my name is Marion. I'm 29 years old. I'm originally from Austria, but I do live since many years in Spain, in Madrid more specifically. I do have my own business. I work for myself. And I thought this would be a good opportunity to take you with me on a typical week I am having. Alongside, I'm telling you a little bit about the struggles I had about living abroad, the lessons I learned about living abroad, all the thoughts which are constantly in my mind or have been in my mind, and all the little chapters I had to encounter, or maybe I'm still encountering after many years living in a different country. But first, we need to talk about to dos for Monday because today is Monday. And as you will maybe notice along this video, this week will not be as filled with depression, overstimulation, and work because I decided in summer I will take the rest of the year off work. I do have my own business. I'm in a financial situation where I can allow myself to do this. I'm very grateful for this. But I did work several years way too much with too many toxic clients, and I had to make a cut and decide, okay, I need to give it a rest because it was eating me alive. People were telling me this over the last 365 days that I'm not myself anymore and that I'm losing my complete spark in life. And that's why I was like, okay, good. Then you know what? You can always restructure, you can always rethink. And that's what I'm doing right now. Because right now it's priority number one, me. And out of this thought, I decided that I'm going on a 2 week solo trip in the middle of August. That's why the first to do of the day, we go to the city and do a little bit of shopping because I need to buy some clothes I do think I need for the trip. Not a huge fan of buying clothes just for a trip specifically, but I think, like specific pants maybe. And other than that, I will wash my hair today. That also takes 2 hours. And of course, post a little bit on social media across the platforms as well. I want to have a run. It's cloudy today, so it shouldn't be too hot. And a small core workout on the rooftop. As you see, my week is already structured like a influencer with Pilates and a little bit of sport and then just posting a bit and then going to bed and the day is over. So let's see how this kind of life actually feels. Since the weather allows it, let's start with the run. I have such a cute fit from Oisho. They have the cutest sports outfits ever. So nice. So let's do a little bit of a warm-up and then I will go down to my park. The run itself was super exhausting because I didn't run for 3 weeks. I had a knee injury, which I managed to get in Marbella. Out of that, I couldn't run for 3 weeks. And it's always so interesting when you are a consistent runner and you stop just for 3 weeks and you come back, you feel like you've never set a foot on the ground before. Afterwards, I took a nap because I also have some slight insomnia since 1 month, 1.5 months. I always wake up at 5 in the morning every night and then I cannot fall asleep anymore. I'm wide awake, so mostly I'm just sleeping 4 hours per night. This night was even worse because I woke up at 3:20. Then I couldn't fall asleep for 3 hours anymore. And at 6, I just decided, let's stand up and do some work. So then I was working for 3 hours. So let me give you a little bit of a backstory how I did end up in Madrid. In 2020, right in the middle of the pandemic, I met my boyfriend in Alicante because he was on vacation there and I was as well on vacation there. He was living at that time in Madrid. It's a simple story. I visited him. I did not only fall in love with him, I also fell in love with the city really heavy. Till today, Madrid is my happy place. It's my home. It's my everything. Even after so many years, I till today didn't get tired of it. So summarized in 2020, I came almost immediately to the city. I had kind of a flexible job at that time. I was never really a person who wanted to leave their country. I was very, very in love with Austria, where I grew up. I grew up in such a beautiful town. I loved living there. Looking back, I need to say my horizon was kind of limited due to the fact that I was living in the countryside and be surrounded by countryside people. There is no hate, but I do feel like if you limit yourself with your surroundings, sometimes you are not able to explore other parts of yourself, other parts of the world, and as well other parts of life. Good morning, it's Tuesday, a fresh day. Today we're starting our morning with picking up coffee and croissants from my boyfriend. Afterwards, we're heading to the gym, and then I want to do all the little things I couldn't do yesterday because I was way too tired. Today I had a good amount of sleep, which means that we will be going to the city and do the shopping, what I mentioned yesterday. Afterwards, I want to work a little bit. Finished my gym session. Obviously, I didn't film in the gym. I always feel super weird when you film in the gym. I signed up for a new gym, as you might see. It's very difficult to find a good gym in Madrid. This one, it has very good potential, to be honest. So now heading back home, changing and going to the city. Hola, buenas. Un ice canola latte, por favor. Con leche de avena si tienes. And I thought let's talk a bit about the differences of being on vacation somewhere and living somewhere. This is the big mistake I made as an example with moving to Berlin. I moved with my boyfriend in 2022 to Berlin, and we did a trip in before, which was like a week or maybe even less. It was some days in Berlin, and we took a hotel and we were checking out the city. We both have never been there before. And we were like, yeah, it looks nice. We can move there. It's Germany. What you can do wrong, right? We moved there after we had all this struggle of finding an apartment where you absolutely give away every honor to yourself. You get an apartment and you live somewhere in the middle of nowhere because you can't choose where you live in Berlin. You can't choose. And don't tell me anything else. You can't. After you just degraded yourself going through this horrible process of finding an apartment, you start living in Berlin. But for me, the city was an absolute nightmare. I did not feel safe at all. Men were following me every day when I left the house. I simply just went a 10 minutes walk to the supermarket. Men were harassing me, following me with the car. Also an absolute disgusting city in terms of cleanliness. There's so much dirt, garbage, graffiti. People don't respect their own city. Partially very rude people, but I also met very nice people there. I feel like nice people are everywhere if you seek and search for them. But what I want to break down with this is when you move somewhere, you should do the average things. Go to the supermarket, do grocery shopping, be there for a whole month. Are you able to handle the bureaucracy in the country? Do you need an accountant to do this? Do you speak the language? Are you able to learn the language? As an example, I didn't know in before that gyms are kind of bad here. And you need to ask yourself in before, can I handle this? Is that okay for me? Because what if you're maybe like a crazy gym person and gym means everything for you and the country just cannot offer you proper gyms? You need to go point by point, all the things which are important in your everyday life, and check that in the place where you are going to live. I continued my search for short pants, as you see in the first clip, and I'm telling you, this dress was such a miss. It was way too wide. It looked way better on the hanger than on me. But I took the pants, as you may see. So I tell you, I was trying on a ton of clothes this day, and I didn't buy anything. I mean, this blouse, it looked nice. This corset looked nice, but my boobs were out way too much. I didn't like that at all. The top was nice, but at the end of the day, it just simply wasn't enough. Everything looks kind of the same nowadays. Good morning and welcome to Wednesday. We are starting today with a run, as you might see in my outfit. I try to start implementing sport now into my morning, which I think is strange because I'm normally a person who works out at night and I don't have any energy in the morning for any kind of sport. I don't know how people are doing that, Yes, I could have breakfast, but I don't do breakfast. So what are we doing today? We have a run. Yes, I want to do a core workout. I maybe will drive into a mall outside of the city because I need to find some stuff for my trip. I probably should be planning things I'm doing on my trip. I'm not really a planner, but probably for a 2 weeks trip I should be doing that. And other than that, nothing. It's crazy when you have nothing to do. Wild. I think I'm going insane in 3 days. I ended up spending the day by the pool, so let's talk about the lonely side of living abroad. I feel like there are many different aspects of that. The obvious thing is you move abroad, you don't have any friends there, you don't have your family there, and you probably, in most cases, you don't know anyone. So you basically start from zero, which can also be a positive thing. But you still need to search actively for friends, and maybe you need to remember yourself how to actually find friends, because the ones you maybe had at home are the ones you already had since kindergarten or you know them from work, and it was never really a activity of yours to actively seek out for friends. And now it's about you to learn this kind of skill. But I would say there are other aspects as well. All the people from your home country are continuing their lives. Obviously they do, but I feel like sometimes we forget about that. Their birthdays, parties, events, weddings, and many other family and friends events where people celebrating milestones of their lives, and you may not be able to be participating in every one of them. A little bit of a question how you are handling that. Are you drowning yourself in guilt, which was the option I chose, or you just force yourself into the situation and travel to every single one of these, which I also did? Pretty fast, you will notice that this is way too much. You cannot live a double life. You cannot live a life in the country you moved to and also in the country you left behind. And that was definitely a struggle for me for the first 3 years because I didn't know how to manage living my own life and also making the people in my home country understand that I cannot be there every single second for every event. I also started to learn to say no because actually it is okay to have your own life in the country you're living. At the end of the day, you don't owe anyone anything. The other aspect is it depends a little bit where you live, but if you live in a bigger city, but people come here and also leave within a year, some months, 2 years, and all the friendships you build up so hard over the last previous months, which is already a hard task as an adult person. And this person just tells you after 6 months, hey, I'm going to move. You need to cope with that as well. It is a very fast paced world when it comes to that. So you need to be open, firstly, to find friends, to seek for friends, but also need to be okay with that if they are eventually leaving. And that's it. And now I'm going to the pool. It's Thursday, which means that we're going to the gym today. I just came out of a 1 hour conversation with my sister to just catch up with her, what's up in her life. Today, we're going as well to Rossmann because Rossmann opened in Madrid. It's a lifelong dream of mine that the store is finally opening here. And other than that, let's just go with the flow today. Honestly, at this point, I can't tell you what I want to do. I had a very good workout, did glutes, a little bit of upper body, and I went home, changed, and now I'm heading to the new Rossmann store. It was a very successful trip to Rossmann. I bought so many cool things, which I'm showing you at home. About this cool face mask, you can put it in the freezer. Whey protein, dark chocolate pistachio flavor. A shower gel. In Spain, you can only buy shower gels which are in a 6-liter package, and you need to smell the same smell for a whole year. A conditioner. I found some gummies from Hichi, a protein bar which I already ate on the way home, and a sunscreen, a small one, because for sunscreen in Spain you always need to buy the branded version, so you pay around 10 euros for any kind of sunscreen, any kind of size, and I just don't see the reason to pay that. It's Friday and also the last day of this vlog. We're heading right now to the Centro Comercial La Gavia. It's outside of the city because I want to go to New Yorker. And that's probably a full week of shopping, which will be ending right now and today. Let's cover some other topics before I enter the mall. Firstly, about language. On social media, learning a language is always portrayed way easier than it actually is. People are talking a lot about that they learned the language within 3 months, fluently, 1 year fluent. And if you're very, very honest with yourself, learning a language takes you to be fully fluent without ever thinking about it, averagely 5 years of your life. Many people don't want to hear that because it's a long, long time. What learning a language actually means is putting in a daily effort. You need to sit down daily, watch videos, take classes, read books, listen to podcasts, learn the grammar. You need to repeat that daily for years. That's the one part. And then there's the other part. You arrive in a country and you start learning the language, which is fine, you know? We all started somewhere. You will start feeling less yourself in the first 1 or 2 years because you're not as funny in this language. You're not as intelligent in this language. You maybe don't know how to form a proper sentence to say what you want to say or to show your emotions. This will sometimes stop you from interacting with people. But at the end of the day, as long as you put yourself out there to learn the language, you will be speaking the language. We should also talk about your income. I would never suggest anyone to move abroad without having any safety net on your side. 5, 6, 7K should be the minimum amount you should have. You will be stumbling across some fees at the very beginning. Just simply setting up your business, settling down in an apartment where you need to pay the first rent or prepayments for it. Another important point is the research you have to do before in terms of how do you earn your money. Are you able to find a job in this country? Does the country only mostly hire people which speak the language of the country? Maybe you want to start a business, but honestly, don't go to the country and start your business there. Till it's running and you earn legit money, it might take some months or maybe even years. But also, as an example of Spain, many people still assume till today it's a very cheap country. But let's be honest, if you live in one of the bigger cities like Madrid or Barcelona, and specifically these cities which are very, very gentrified, cost of living is really, really high. Just because the loans of the average people are very low doesn't mean that renting is affordable. By that I mean you should research the cost of living in before. How much do I need to pay in rent? How much do I need to pay for groceries? Do I need insurances? Do I need health insurance additionally? All these costs together, can I sustain myself? But now let's finally show you what I found in the mall, because I finally found sports clothes which I was searching the whole summer. Look at this fabulous set in red. Looks great from the front and from the back. And also I found running shorts which are double layered. Isn't that great? And I couldn't say no when I found this skirt. I know it's a little bit wide around the waist, but in winter I weigh a little bit more, so it's totally fine. And I didn't know what I thought when I took this shirt. It's like 2010s all over. No. But my boobs look fantastic in that though. If you came to this part of the video, which I highly doubt because obviously no one is watching that, I do have such a great joy in creating these videos and cutting and editing them, that I will do that probably for a while longer just for myself. Anyways, if you actually came here, thank you so much for watching that. Feel free to subscribe or let me a comment below with any opinions about the topics I spoke about, questions you have, or even suggestions. Always very, very thankful for that. And you will see me next week in my new vlog, because then I'm already starting my trip, which could be kind of interesting.